Good evening, everyone on the BQB potty and YouTube and wherever you are absorbing us. Good evening, Angus. How are you?
Good, thanks, mate. How are you?
Good, good. I may be a little bit distracted. I'm actually streaming the AIBAs at the moment, um, and I didn't do the timing very well with our potty, but so far really exciting. Some of the results I sort of knew, being a steward and everything. Um, really cool to see Slipstream's wild gold beer get up and Dollar Bills Brambalamba Ding Dong, which is just a great name for a beer. Get up, which is really cool. Um,
That is cool.
yeah, so they're just announcing the trophy winners and the golds tonight. And yeah, so far we've seen Kaiju, Stomping Ground, King Road, Truma Pills from their Cali Brewery, Wedgetail, Carlton Black, which was interesting from Cascade,
Huh.
Reckless from New South Wales, Merino Brewery, which I haven't heard of in New South Wales, Bridge Road for their first trophy ever, which I was really surprised with. Um,
Really? Huh.
yeah, Bridge Road for their first trophy, and it was for their non-alc, which was amazing. I didn't know that fact. Um, Toshi's beer just won specialty flavored Chili Cat from Roger Cat Beer. Best specialty flavored beer. So Toshi X Black Hops getting a trophy is really cool from Roger
Yeah.
Cat.
I love Toshi. He's such a good dude.
I love Toshi. Some of the stuff he did um, at Black Ops, some of that AWOL barrel age stuff was really amazing. So I'm really glad that something's come up for him. There's been some from Hong Kong, New Zealand, China, of course. Heaps of entries for Chinese wheat beers, and one of them got up as well. So far, really cool. I probably would just encourage everyone to jump on the website at Melbourne Royal, and you get to see all the winners. All of these gold, silver, bronze, and trophies. They'll all smash the socials over the next few weeks and really promote their products. But it was a really good comp. 2,300 beers from 22 countries. Yeah, so it was really cool to see. What are you drinking tonight?
I have got a Weinhofer Dunkel. I'm absolutely butchering the pronunciation.
Yeah, nice.
It's pretty nice. Yeah, Dunkel's one of my favorite styles of beers.
Yeah,
Probably Belgian triple, Belgian quad, and then Dunkels.
Dougal's are just nice and easy drinking, aren't they? Well, I am going to crack open a Laotian beer, and I don't think I've ever had a beer from Laos before. It's called Beer Lao. My son's
Nice.
friend got it gifted to me, and somehow it ended up in my fridge. So it's 5% lager. So I'll give that a crack. Filter just got Best Australian Pale Ale for their XPA, which is good for Filter too.
Yeah, it's a good beer. Straight down the line, classic pale ale. That's good. Yeah.
Yeah, Filter, they've sort of been non-nonsense, but I think their XPA, apart from maybe Bolter when it came out and was really full of Amarillo, I think their XPA has probably been the next best one, the Filter one. My Laotian beer um, sort of has that sort of ricey, worty sort of taste that some Asian beers get, and I think it's probably got to do with a lot of their raw ingredients being imported because they can't grow hops and barley in those hot climates. But it is, as it says, smooth and refreshing. It's not too bad at all. It's just got that little bit of rice sweetness, little bit of
Yeah.
wordiness to it. But if it's a mass-produced lager, all the best. Probably goes really well with their cuisine too.
Yeah. Classic Asian lager.
Do you know much about Laos? I don't. Sorry for
No, not
sorry for
particularly.
my
No.
ignorance. Yeah. So
Sorry for all the Laos listeners.
yeah, sorry. All yeah, I'm sure we've got a huge following in Laos. I haven't looked at the country breakdown, but yeah, I'm keen to learn more. If you want to send us beer, we'll yeah, we'll give it a good home for sure. So on tonight's, I've got a couple of things here. So Gabs is in Brisbane next weekend. There are $15 tickets available until Sunday. However, there is a $5 processing fee. In saying that, though, $20 isn't too bad. Um, and I don't know if Gabs has burst the bubble. There's only two sessions in Brisbane. I'm going to pop into the Saturday session for a squiz. I don't know if Gabs has jumped the shark, but apparently it was pretty empty in Melbourne, and there were lots of free tickets available, and they're probably expecting some more free tickets this for Brisbane next week. So I don't know if it's on its last legs or not. I'm keen to go and support the breweries who spend a lot of money to exhibit there. Maybe not the container bars, the actual exhibits, but
Yeah.
I think it's in a bit of trouble. What do you think?
Yeah, I know 2 years ago when I went, that was the last time I went, it was 2 years ago. I think I lined up for one beer in the container bar because it was absolutely fascinating. I can't remember what it was.
Yeah.
But it took so long to get through the lines. I just ended up going to the brewery bars and hanging out there.
And lots of people we know and having a chat and um, yeah, it's I just don't know. Some of the like I did a really cool sit down once and it was like a degustation of beers and there was like a taco beer and a you know I can't even remember a cucumber beer and they just there was a lamb souvlaki beer which I thought was crazy but it worked.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it was fine. It was interesting, but yeah, um, yeah. I don't know. I don't know how much more you can do or how much you can reinvent the wheel. Smoothies and ice creams and glitter beers and yeah, I'm not sure, but I'll have a squeeze for $20. It's 50 cent public transport in Queensland too. Yeah,
Yep.
why not? So I'll
$20.50 here in.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah. Sorry for those other states that don't have 50 cent public transport, but yeah, it I think it works. Um, Last week I forgot to or didn't get to the drivers non-alcoholic campaign. Beer called Drivers it is. And it's a non-alc startup and they're appealing to Daniel Ricciardo to be their spokesperson for 20% of the business. Uh, I don't think they'll get him. But it's been really good publicity and it's got lots of people talking about it.
Yeah,
Um,
it is a great marketing shot.
it also automatically devalues the shares of the business before launch, which doesn't make sense. Um, and it's probably contract brewed, which is fine. It's got good packaging. The fact that they've come out with this is great. I'd say Daniel will probably get say thanks but no thanks because he has St Hugo wines that he produces. He's previously been the face of Heineken, Zero in other countries. I doubt he will go on, but I'm not going to say he will never um, take it up. You never know with him, but yeah, look, it's got everyone talking. All the best to him. Yeah, I'd like to try it. Non-alc is, as you may know, a lot harder to produce than alc. I've done some consulting with other breweries, and I've even had people mention it when I was in Melbourne last week, talking about non-alc and the extra steps are involved in non-alc are a lot harder to produce, a lot more expensive to produce. It's a good market. It's only about 5 to 10% of the market, but um, I've basically talked every brewery who's wanted to do it out of doing it. So, um, which probably didn't help my consulting fees, but I'm honest and realizing there's only a small parcel of an alternative for them. It might be easier for them to get one of the more established brands in. So, yeah. Um, and you had a couple of points that you were going to talk about today.
What did I say? Um, oh, the Gabs com. Yeah, just looking at ticket prices and sessions before, and they've got a competition on to win a trip to Germany. to Vian Stefan and Schlenkerla.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
$10 a ticket, or a number of tickets for $50.
Yeah, that's on top of your entry fee, isn't it? Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. I think you pay it at the entrance or when you just get inside.
yeah,
That sounds pretty cool.
yeah. Um, if they get enough people through the door, they're probably going to pay for it with the raffle ticket. So it's not a bad idea. But yeah,
If people are getting free tickets to Gabs, they might be spending that on the German comp instead.
yeah, possibly. Yep, yep, that makes sense. Um, yeah, I reckon. You know, Australia, the world's oldest brewery, Weinstefano in Bavaria. I think they said continuous brewing since 1040. And so it'd be really cool to visit there again. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Schlenkerla would be an experience. You'd come out with no palate left over.
They do some Rausch beers too, don't they?
They do a lot of Rausch beers and
Yeah.
smoked beers and all that. All they're experts at that stuff. I don't actually know what else they do because that's all I buy of theirs.
Yeah.
The smoked beers and Rausch and
My wife is a huge fan of the Rausch beers, probably from her German heritage. Me, I like a little bit of smoke, but not a full on ham hock bacony berserk beer, unless it's paired with you know Schweinhacks. Can pair really nice with it too if you've got a nice smoke.
yeah, I go through stages. Same with my IPAs. I go through stages of just wanting something absolutely massive and stupid, and then it's all ham hocks and bacon and glazed ham and all that stuff.
I don't know why we can't get, and I've said it before, a really piney, resiny IPA or West Coast IPA anymore. Um, and speaking to people who are from the States, they're on their haze craze at the moment, and it's those really big hoppy resiny ones aren't there, but that also makes sense for commercially because the hazy's such low bitterness. People are buying more of them, and makes more commercial sense than the
Yeah,
the days of the IBA wars, like what was it 10, 15 years ago. But I'm still waiting for someone to do that real resiny, dank, big beer, and I haven't had one for ages.
yeah. I think Punisher Swede was one of my favorites.
Yeah,
It was a monster.
yeah, yeah. Even like some of the Sierra Nevada Torpedo and Optimum, and um, yeah, there's been some really good ones. So yeah, and probably the biggest news of the week has been uh, sort of related to someone we know in the industry with Dan Norris's fall from grace. Um, I did message him last night. Uh, he said he's probably going to stay off the socials for a couple of days. Um, it has been ruthless the commentary around what he's released in the newspapers, on his website, and on his emails. I still think the whole situation of the whole Black Ops story really comes down to one word, and it's clusterfuck. It's just um, his personal journey, the business's journey, the crowdfunders, which I was one. I was Alpha team member myself. Um, I've known I know one investor who put in six figures into the brewery and got pretty much the same response that we got with the downfall. I really I really think that the new company probably should have moved away from that brand and maybe called themselves something different. But Dan's honest, uh, painful recollection of where he is at and where he has been. I don't know if it was therapeutical for him to release all that. I don't know if that puts him up in in legal stance, or the reason why we're hearing it now is maybe NDAs have finished or something like that. He
Yeah,
definitely,
something's happened because he's spent a lot of time on Boston Brewer podcast not saying anything and saying that he couldn't say anything due to the
Yeah,
I don't know he's either got the shits all of a sudden or yeah, like you said, NDAs have run out or yeah,
it's
yes.
yeah, it's a difficult story, and it's really interesting seeing some of the responses from former Black Ops people who have pretty much given him a serve, saying, you've done it to yourself. Um, you're not taking accountability for it and all that. And then there's other people worried about his mental health and the fact that he's calling this out. People applauding for sharing. Um, I think it's a bit of both. I think it sounds like a lot of people were hurt. The business was hurt. A lot of relationships were hurt, and he's really hurting at the moment financially and emotionally and everything like that. And that's what brings me back to that whole. It's just a clusterfuck, and um, I just hope people stay healthy and try to get over it. People make mistakes. Um, Sometimes they learn from them, sometimes they don't. But um, yeah, I don't know. It's a really tough situation. But in saying that, I've seen some amazing memes made from it. Um, like Beer Thread have done some crazy stuff, um, and I can't help but laugh at them because you know, they have said what they said, and even my response to Dan's picture of him in the front page of the Gold Coast newspaper, and I said that he'd hit Croc bottom because he was wearing Crocs, and I just made sure to my family that they're quite welcome to take me out if I ever come home with a pair of Crocs. That's the limit. Um, but I don't know. What do you think of the whole situation?
Yeah, I mean, like with any story, I think there's still a lot more to it. I think Dan certainly laid out completely bare what his recollections are of the past few years. Um, I mean, yeah, kind of one of the golden rules of business is you don't piss where you fish or whatever the phrase is. Like, yeah, workplace relationships are never a great thing.
Let alone four.
Never end well. Yeah,
Yeah,
let alone four of them. That's yeah, it's a lesson hopefully for him to learn.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and no one's winning out of this situation.
Not at all.
No
This
one
just
wins.
doesn't benefit anyone apart from maybe Dan getting it off his chest, but uh,
Yeah.
maybe it brings up stuff for other people, so maybe it doesn't benefit anyone. So I don't know. It got the whole community talking, swearing, laughing, memeing, AI generated images. Um, yeah,
Yeah, it's probably the most exciting thing to happen in the beer industry for a couple of months.
yep, yep. Um,
When was the last time something brewing related was on the front page of any newspaper?
yeah, pretty much. Even if they were wearing Crocs.
Yeah, yeah,
No,
yeah. He had good sized shorts on for that photo.
yep, the baggy shorts, yep, and the flanny. What did someone say? It was the he was not a CEO, he was a chief erotic officer or something like that. And
Yeah,
that was
that was one of the beer thread things. Yeah,
look. I don't mean to laugh at someone else's pain, but that's what I do. Just
Mm,
um, look, I just hope. Yeah, I don't know what to make of it. I hope he's okay. I hope people who are affected are okay. Yeah, it's commentary on this is just yeah. I don't know what's right and what's wrong, but anyway, we'll see what happens. I guess in the coming weeks.
yep, that's enough said about that. I think.
Yeah, moving on.
Moving
Did you have
on.
anything else tonight?
I just saw a couple of the news items just before we started. So hop on brewery tours run by Joss.
Yep.
One of our good stewarding friends. They just won Best of Queensland Experience for Brisbane and Gold Coast for the fourth year in a row.
They absolutely punch above their weight, but also like yeah, they they keep a lot of these smaller breweries going by introducing them to new crowds and different type of people who may not have visited, Future Magic or Hudson or some of these smaller breweries, as well as the big breweries. So I just think that uh, what they do is amazing. Um, I hope they keep going. I think the first time they've just got back from a 60-day European holiday, and I think it's the first time since they've had the business that they've actually had an extended holiday. Um,
Yeah.
and I really hope that they get back here and get back into it and getting lots of people visiting breweries. They were doing axe throwing and go karts and incorporating different aspects into these group tours. I've done a hop on tour myself. Um,
I'm ashamed to admit I haven't actually done one.
it's great. You get chauffeured around to 3 or 4 breweries. You get to meet the brewers. Um, you know, talk about olfactory tasting. You even get a tour inside the breweries, or try some hop, as well as like a paddle of beer at each of the breweries and all that, and a feed at one of the breweries. So it's a great day out if you haven't done it before, and it can be sort of catered. They do north side, south side, Gold Coast, or they do half days. I think there's some distillery ones as well. So good on them for winning that, and well deserved for sure. I love what Joss and Matt do. It's and like you said, Joss is head steward of the Royal Queensland. We know Joss really well, and she really is passionate about beer, especially in southeast Queensland. And we need people like Joss to stay in the industry and to keep it all together. To be honest.
Yeah. I have to book a tour. I feel guilty.
Or maybe we'll do a field trip,
Field trip.
field trip episode while we're doing a tour. So yeah, look, don't feel guilty, but definitely jump on it. It's a really good experience. Um, and if you are on the Gold Coast, I think you always end up at Maddock. She's really good friends with Annalise, but it's really cool trying all the Belgian beers they've got. Actually, I did see they've released a desal beer this week at Maddock Brewery as well,
Okay.
um,
All right.
which is really cool using desal water, um, probably in partnership with the desalination plant on the Gold Coast. So keen to try that one too. So that'd be really cool.
I'd probably make Joss end up at Maddock anyway because it's one of my favorite breweries.
I'm a huge fan, and I've always said it of Framboos. They're fruited sour. It's a
Yeah,
cracker.
that's good. Yeah, that's really good, that one.
Jimmy and everyone there's brilliant. So yeah, great little brewery in Ashmore. Is it Ashmore?
Ashmore, yeah.
Ashmore. So if you're ever on the coast, jump into Maddock. It's a Belgian-based brewery, like inspired, but they do some Aussie pale ales and other stuff as well. It's they do quads and triples and Reynard. I love the Reynard. It's just yeah,
Making me thirsty.
yeah. We might have to go for a visit to Maddock because they really do some cracking beers. Yeah, yeah.
Did you ever see the brewery at their house?
I saw pictures of the one in the garage, the little kit, and
In
then
the garage. Yeah,
that,
it
that's
was
a little
crazy.
that's a little pilot kit they've got at Ashmore at the back now.
Yeah, it's the pilot kit now, yeah.
Um,
Yeah, like you drive into like just a normal suburban housing estate and I pull up in the driveway and walking up the driveway, all you can see is just like a normal garage and it's just packed with stainless. And
and
there's like a tiny little counter and
I
just
don't know
all
how
stainless.
I don't know how they got approval for it, but they did in this residential area to have this little garage brew. Um, but the Ashmore site's amazing. Um, and their son was that Noah? He
Noah, yeah.
he did the TAFE course as well. and he did all the bunding at the brewery, and he's a talented brewer too. So it's a family affair there, and hope nothing but the best for him. But yeah, it's really cool.
Now we've got to get to Maddock again as well.
Yeah, yeah. The other sort of Belgian inspired one we've got is Fick. We have Fick on
Yeah,
the
I've been
north
to Fick a
side.
few times. They got really good, really good menu there. It's an easy sell for Anna
Yeah,
because she loves the food there.
yeah,
That's an easy sell to go there. Yeah, we've gone there a few times. They got really nice beers too.
and that's like it's like the back of a house sort of thing next to the train
Very
trackies.
similar, yeah.
Yeah, very
I
cool.
remember the first time I drove through, I was like parked. I'm like, this is the wrong place. I can't see any brewery here.
Yeah,
It's like I think at that stage there was like like big like council kind of machinery yard on one side, and then this little house thing. Looking, just going, just doesn't make sense. And I looked in the house. I'm like, oh, okay, there it is.
yeah, yeah. Again, really, really cool beers. Um, yeah, so I think that's all for us today. Did you have anything else?
No, that's all.
No. All right. Well, lovely speaking, and hopefully there'll be less drama. I am going to go to the Saturday week. I'm going to go to Gabs. So if you see me, say hello. Don't take a picture of my bald head. That's Hendo's thing. Um, but yeah, if I see you there, I'll see you there.
Yeah, different bald head.
Yeah, yeah. Better bald
Yeah,
head.
I'm gonna try and make the Saturday session as well.
Yeah, yeah. I think that'll be fun. We'll get to see
I
some.
might see you there.
Yeah, but I might see you online next week for BQB episode 8. Before then,
So, eight.
8. Oh,
Who
we're
would have
getting up
thought?
there. Spotify's like 300 views or so, for 300 listens so far. So you know, happy for sponsors if they want to jump on because you know we'll be smartless level soon with the thousands of people watching and listening.
And none of those listen to me because I don't listen to my own voice. So they're
No,
genuine 300.
for those people who are putting up with our voice, thank you very much. We're not voice actors, that's for sure.
No,
No,
no, not at all.
no. Alrighty, mate. I'll catch you next time.
Cool. All right. See you
Thanks,
later.
everyone. Bye.